So here we go. The issue of whether traditional schooling, so of here and then remove this. The issue of whether traditional schooling requires, or no, must change. Every time we say needs to or needs out, we can change it to must. Needs is a bit informal. So the issue of whether traditional schooling must change or should remain the same has grown in importance over the last few decades. The present system certainly requires an alternative, and this essay will further describe with examples the change required in the modern schooling system. Here I would say, presently, the education system is conservative and somewhat monotonous. The grading system encourages competition rather than creativity among students. For example, admissions to top universities around the world, such as Michigan and Harvard, are based on, you can just leave out done, are based on merits and academic capability. As a result, only a few thousand students gain acceptance into prestigious institutes. Recent research by the IMF has revealed that Western universities design courses based on current market demands, and thus clearly demonstrates that the education industry is driven by present market conditions and not on the intellectual or creative talent possessed by the students. Therefore, such traditional school... Actually, let's say... Therefore, the modern student deserves an alternative. So I don't really think this is necessary here, because you're still asking for change. So asking for change, and then on the other hand, would be talking about the merits of the present school system. But I would use moreover or furthermore here, because you're still on the same topic. You're still asking for change. Moreover, the current education system should accommodate a new methodology for evaluation, with the introduction of more creative subjects into the curriculum. For example, some schools in India have revamped their course curriculums for classes so these are, we shouldn't use these really in academic writing. We should stick to a simple paragraph structure. The simple paragraph structure is 4 sentences. The first sentence introduces the topic. The second sentence is usually a more specifically, or this is due to the fact that, so it's an explanation or an expansion of the idea. So a general introduction, an explanation or expansion of the idea, and then the third sentence is a supporting example. This demonstrates that your reasoning is based on evidence and not just opinion. And then the fourth sentence either makes a recommendation or it ties it back to the question. So it says, therefore it is clear that, and then it says about the original question that you were asked. So here I would use such as and for example for these. For example, a few schools in India have revamped their course curriculum with changes such as the inclusion of more practical practical coursework, let's say, more practical coursework in science subjects, in which every year, students must come up with their own scientific invention. Additionally, some schools added a 10-day field trip each year in remote places or prominent historical sites, or even government organisations. After these trips, each student presents a project report on the trip. These changes encourage more critical thinking and creativity than the current system of targets and examinations. To summarise, given the explanations and examples above, the education system must be revamped and redesigned, although they are the same thing, so let's just say revamped, in a way which benefits the creative and intellectual talents of students. Full stop. Overall, quite good, but you need some more structure and things like there are a couple of areas here where you used a few short sentences where you could have used a comma and an and. Make sure you use good use of the subordinate clauses, commas and conjunctions. Having too many short truncated sentences, which are known as fragments, makes your writing look too simple, and yours is not simple. So don't let yourself down and make sure you use a decent range of grammatical constructions. So here we have your complaint letter, so formal and severe. We don't need to worry that much about being polite because we are addressing an issue, someone else has messed up and we need them to fix it. So I am writing to complain about the terrible experience I had at your restaurant during dinner service. If you're talking about the evening, then during dinner service. I, comma, along with a couple of friends, comma, visited your restaurant on the night of the 7th of the 5th. We ordered several of your dishes, but had to wait for more than an hour for the order to arrive. Once the dishes came to the table, they were colder than was normally acceptable. No, they were colder than would normally be acceptable. I called the waiter, but each of them refused to listen to me. I must say that the service we received was incredibly poor. Secondly, the dishes were so salty that we could barely eat them. We tried to cancel the order and leave the restaurant, but your supervisor forced us to pay and was not prepared to listen to our explanation. Moreover, he was quite rude about the whole affair and tried to create a drama to motivate us to leave. I must request a written apology from you for the insults suffered from your employee and the terrible food we received. I also demand a full refund of the amount that was paid on that night. If you fail to fulfill the above request, I will be forced to take legal action. Regards, John. This is great. It's very well known in England that if somebody does not send kind regards but instead sends regards, that they hate you. Excellent cultural knowledge. But that's great, Bala. So that's your next set done. I've already sent you your extra pack. I will eagerly await your response. All the best, pal.